Anna Hirschfield. I'm working on the Universal Credit Digital Service. My role is I'm the lead business analyst with a security focus. So my role is a mixture of things. Kind of my day-to-day, I'm responsible for doing analysis on security-related features. So, for example, how we manage login, how we provide authentication tools to claimants, and how we secure the system generally. But I also manage a team of 3 other BAs who work across the project, and my job is to support them in their role, give feedback, help them grow and become professional BAs. It's changed an awful lot. I think we have, as the project has moved through the phases, the way that we have approached business analysis has matured. So I think from when we first probably started, it was very much get everybody in a room, have a discussion, draw something out with the UX guys, and then write some very simple basics user stories for the dev team to build. We've since then moved through a kind of few different iterations of how we do analysis. So we've previously worked in a way where we had 3 phases called big thinking, conceptual design, and detailed design. Big thinking was very much about, again, kind of getting that wider group of stakeholders together. So big thinking was very much again about bringing that wider group of stakeholders together across a multidisciplinary team, including subject matter experts in whatever feature that you were picking up. And then taking that kind of understanding what perhaps the scope is, the beginnings of what the user journeys might be, what's in and what's out, and what questions do we need to answer specifically from a policy perspective, because UC is such a complex piece of policy to be interacting with. Conceptual design was very much about honing that down into a flow, into having some wireframes and designs of what, say, for example, the gather of information for childcare costs might look like, what we're going to ask from the claimant, what an agent might have to do on the opposite side of it, and then going down from there into detailed design where we write the user stories and write the acceptance tests. We're now kind of refining that again because of where we are with the project. We're kind of in a phase now where we're doing a lot more integration with external systems. So it's less about new screens, but about integrating with things like SIS and RTE and other services such as Bank Wizard or the Quick Address service. So we're moving into a phase where what was big thinking is kind of now the scoping process. So the multidisciplinary team in UCDS is made up of user research, user experience, our developers, our QAs, testers, DevOps are here, but we also have our subject matter experts part of the room and part of that multidisciplinary team as well, and obviously our product owner and delivery managers are part of that as well. And I would say one of the key things that we've tried to do as we've matured our BA processes is ensure that at every stage those stakeholders are coming along with us. So a feature tends to be owned by a BA, and to ensure that we get the best outcome for a feature, it's really important to make sure all of those stakeholders, all of those parts of the team know what's coming. So even from kind of a scoping phase, we like to make sure the devs sort of have an idea of what's coming up. So I've not worked on a waterfall project in DWP, but I think from what I have experienced, one, it's that multidisciplinary team right there together, constantly working together. I mean, one of the best things, and actually one of the best things that we're doing at the moment is working in feature teams. So I'm currently sat with the devs that I'm working with to ensure that when they have questions, when they need information from me, I'm sat right next to them and they can just go, Anna, what on earth did you mean by this particular acceptance criteria? I think the ability to just get these right. So I think the key attributes for a business analyst are to challenge, to ask all the questions, to admit when you don't know. I think actually that's one of the most important ones when you're dealing with a lot of technical people, a lot of experts in the room. It's really important to make sure that you have a full grasp of it, and saying, I don't know, can you explain that to me again, there's no shame in that, and that's the most important thing you will ever do. I think being able to think logically is really important, and I think the other side of it is relationship management. So a lot of what the BA is doing constantly is stakeholder management, whether that's the multidisciplinary team and managing your devs, managing your UX, getting everybody at the right time, and managing the inputs and outputs from that, but also when we bring in people from the rest of DWP, bringing in specific experts and stakeholders, how you manage those relationships and ensure that they feel involved and we feel that we're getting the most out of those conversations and those relationships.